Coming up, we're going to be talking about Mickey's Halloween party at the Disneyland Park, as well as some of the holiday offerings coming to the Disneyland Resort and more in this episode of the Disneyland edition of the DIS Unplugged. This is the DIS Unplugged Disneyland Edition, episode 745 for the week of October 1st, 2018. The DIS Unplugged Disneyland Edition is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect vacation. Visit them on the web at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Well, hello, everybody. I am your host, Rhino Clavin. Today, unfortunately, Pete is a little under the weather, so I am taking on his role again. So I'm sure he's going to feel better by the time this episode has come out. I hope so. But if you want to wish him well a week late, feel free. So I'm here, and to join me for this week's episode, we have in the back of the room here in Orlando, Florida with me, we've got Craig Williams.
Ahoy, hoy.
And then in Southern California, we've got Tyler Crouch. I was debating who to introduce first. I'm sorry.
Hello, everyone.
And Katrina Manzoni.
Hi, everybody.
Sorry. I was like, and it made me look like I forgot your names. So nice to have you here, Penelope and Steven. So this week we're going to be talking, like I said in the teaser, we're going to be talking about Tyler and Katrina's experience at the Halloween party at Disneyland Park. But I figured we'd kick off the show and just dive right into the things that we are most excited about in Disneyland this week. Or the land. I forget how Pete words it. So I'm going to start us off here because I feel like I've got a fairly important one here. So we talked about the Halloween time offerings at Disneyland Resort in our last episode. In this episode, we're talking about the hard ticket event, the Halloween party. And in the meantime, since that, Disney Parks blog has put out some information about the holidays, which will be beginning just after the Halloween time ends. So the holidays at Disneyland Resort begin November 9th, and they will be transforming the happiest place on earth into the merriest place on earth. Now, I personally have never been out there for any of their holiday offerings. Obviously, Tyler and Katrina, you have, and Craig, you've spoken very highly about it.
I have.
You have.
Okay.
Yes. I was looking for your confirmation.
I have actually been to the holidays, I think, probably 3 times now.
Okay.
And so I think in terms of like a season that I've gone to Disneyland, I've gone more in the holiday season than any other ones.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, there you
but
go.
that's special because I think the holidays truly are the best time to experience Disneyland. Just in my opinion.
More than the Halloween time?
Oh, it's not even a freaking comparison.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I love Halloween time, so
It's magical.
I feel like this year might be the first year. I don't know. I've been out there so much this year, but this might be the first year that I try and do just to experience the holidays even a little bit out there. So we'll see what happens, though.
The nice thing, too, about doing the holidays real quick at Disneyland as opposed to Disney World is that there's no extra ticket party. It's just the holidays all the time.
Exactly.
You don't have to get another ticket to go to a little party at the end of the night. So
well, yeah, and that actually was the first thing I was going to mention was one of the returning favorites here is a Christmas Fantasy Parade at Disneyland Park. So this is their Christmas parade that's got Mickey, Minnie, Santa, the reindeer, princesses. Do they have the soldiers marching along like we have here? Okay, because that's my favorite part. That's a parade here in Walt Disney World. You can only see that I want to say it's the last 2 weeks around Christmas time into New Year that it becomes the regular parade for the park. Other than that, if you're coming anytime in November or the early December, you have to do the Christmas party at Magic Kingdom. Whereas at Disneyland Resort, it is part of your regular holiday offerings during the day.
And you're probably familiar with this parade if you are a fan of the Disney Parks Christmas Day parade special that they show every year. So for the past 2 years, it's made that switch where Walt Disney World is the hub for all of the musical entertainment and all the concerts that they have, but then the parade that you actually watch is a version of Disneyland's Christmas parade with extras thrown in. So if you're thinking like, oh well, I've never been to Disneyland for the holidays, you have at least seen parts of this parade, just in the completely staged fashion that's in no way representative of what the actual parade brings.
I was going to say, Craig sounds a little bitter, but if you saw our Tuesday Disney World edition of the show from last week, he did give his feelings about that, about the holiday parade on TV. And I do agree with him, because I did go to the taping at Disney World once, and I remember they had the... you remember those dogs that was like the spinoff of Air Bud? And it was like they had the bunch of golden retriever puppies, and there were all these movies.
I believe it was Air Buddies.
But the buddies, yeah. So there was a Christmas one, and
Snow Buddies.
So they were all there. Big celeb, I know. I got a photo with them. But they were on the sidewalk, like they were there watching the parade, and I remember like watching that on Christmas, even though they filmed it in November. Or the first weekend of December, of the Snow Buddies being like, "Look at this parade, it's great." That was the worst impression of those dogs' voices. But anyway,
Pretty bad.
So we've got the Christmas Fantasy Parade, like I said, that's going to be starting on November 9th at Disneyland Park. And this means that Pixar Play Parade, thank God, in my opinion, is coming to an end November 4th. I didn't like this parade when it was at Hollywood Studios, and I don't care for it at Disneyland Park either, but that's just me. Some people love it, and that's cool. I respect that. I don't. When we were trying to record it, I got shot right in the face with the water, and I was like, normally I'd be like, yay, but that day I was just like,
that's supposed to be fun, Rhino. That's the fun part, getting shot in the face with water.
I know, isn't it? It's not a Disney park unless you've been sprayed by water at whether you're in a 3D show or at a parade or just a random passerby getting you with their squeeze breeze bottle. So that's going to be happening during the. Does your Christmas parade happen during the day?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, they do one at dusk too, so it'll be a little bit darker. But yeah, they do it during the day.
Okay, that's a switch from ours, because ours, since it's at the party, it was only at night. Or does it become part of the parade during the day those 2 weeks of Christmas? I don't know. I've never actually watched it other than at the party.
Yeah, I've only seen it at the party. I refuse to go to the Magic Kingdom during
Those 2
Hell
weeks,
Week
yeah.
or the week before.
Yeah,
So-
well, essentially, once that becomes the regular parade, it's like a get out of there. But yeah, anyway, so at night they're going to be offering Believe in Holiday Magic, which is the returning favorite, which has a snowfall finale to it. That sounds pretty magical. I mean, I like whenever it snows on Main Street here in Disney World. I'm sure it's like extra magical when it's happening in Southern California, especially since your nights get a little chilly out there. What do you got?
Yeah. I feel like when they do the finale, it's really magical, but my favorite area to watch the fireworks is by Small World, because Small World's all lit up during Christmas, and I think that's like the best facade decorations that they've done for Christmas.
Yeah.
And then they do the snowfall, and it just like, I just get super excited for Christmas.
I've seen a video of it, and it looks really, really awesome. But that's not mentioned in this article. I'm sure they're going to be bringing that back, as that's like a traditional favorite and stuff like that. So
the nice part about the Believe in Holiday Magic fireworks are that it's just like the parade. It runs every single day. Well, it's fireworks at Disneyland, so if they're able to do it because of wind. But from my experience, I know it just depends on what time of the season you're going. But I've found that I can usually get a pretty awesome spot for this without the normal hours and hours of waiting for fireworks, like in other Disneyland shows. And it's a very cute show. I think the Magic Kingdoms are holiday fireworks during our Christmas party are way superior to Believe in Holiday Magic, but it's absolutely worth watching. It's a nice, it's kind of an endearing special show versus like an overly Christmassy one.
That's good. That's nice. Well, in addition to that, it says that the Sleeping Beauty's Winter Castle is going to be happening again. So let me ask you about that. Is that similar to how they...
There's no show.
There's no show, but is it like the lighting like they do on our castle, where our castle looks frozen at night?
It's not that intricate. It's not icicle lights covering every single...
I could not remember the word.
It's not every single inch.
Yeah, they basically put snow on the roof, and that's kind of where they end it. There's some icicle lights, but it's not anywhere close to what they do with Cinderella Castle, and there's no like lighting ceremony at night or anything like
Yeah.
that. So.
Okay, well, it's still decorated. It still seems to be nice.
I
but-
think the benefit of that is that it has the Christmas look both during the day and at night. Whereas
Yeah.
at Cinderella Castle, if you're not seeing it with the ice lights on there, then you're not seeing it at its best during the holidays.
100% agree. 100%. Also, this is saying that that Cars Land is going to have some decorations as well. Is that a new thing, or have they been doing that for a while?
No, they've been doing that for a while now. They've been doing that probably for 4 or 5 years, I would say. Probably
Okay.
five, closer to five, or probably I think I think I've always heard that when they were opening Cars Land, they were actually doing work for the decorations at the same exact time. So they were like ready to go, have the Christmas decorations ready for when it opens. So they've been doing that since the beginning. But I think
Didn't
it's
they recently change the songs though?
Yeah.
Because they did the Halloween songs, they made it Christmas songs too
Oh,
for the
cute.
2 rides.
Yeah, that's exactly correct.
that's true.
When I went, the first Christmas I went to Disneyland, it was 2013, and they had all the decorations, and they had the snowy car out front of the sign and all that, but all of the audio on the attractions was still the same. And now they've done the Christmas versions of them, and I can actually say that if you want to listen to the Christmas versions, they are available at least on Apple Music to listen to year round. I've already
Of course
given
you
it
have.
a couple spins so far, and I love it. I want them to release the Halloween stuff too, but I'm happy with the Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I love that. Is it as intricate as the Halloween celebration gets there?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think actually Halloween is a little bit more intricate. Actually, there's a couple special extra things that they do for Halloween that I think brings it over the top. But
Okay.
the really cool thing is going there at dusk, and every single night they do this lighting ceremony, and they do this all year round. But it's even more special when they do the Christmas stuff, because when the lights are all coming on one at a time at dusk, it's like just beautiful. It really is a really cool place to be. So
Yeah, I think the Halloween decorations are definitely superior. They're just it covers the area more, but the Christmas decorations do feel right at home in Cars Land, and I love the lighting. That's my favorite of the 3 different lighting schemes that they do when it lights up at dusk.
Well, while we're at California Adventure, we're going to talk about some of the other offerings that they were talking about that are coming back, which is festive food marketplaces. And so on the Parks blog, it says, as part of Festival of the Holidays, the delicious mix of holiday dishes and beverages found at the festive food marketplaces celebrates diverse cuisines, cultures, and traditions. To make way for Festival of the Holidays, though, Paint the Night Parade is ending its limited time run. So if you want to see Paint the Night, you got to see it by November 7th. November 7th is the last day of that parade, which I hope is coming back after the holidays. I feel like this parade has never gotten its full, like in Disney World. I feel like we get parades and you're like, oh gosh, like come on, move it, shake it, celebrate it, get out of here. I get that you've changed a word from time to time, but come on, it's the same costumes and the same floats. We beat it to death out here. Whereas you guys are like, well, look, here's a little bit, and then you can't have any more, and then here's a little bit, and you can't have any more. So,
well, I think they've realized that they get these huge boosts of people not only at the end of the runs, but also at the beginning of the runs. And that way they can just like really, when they really want to make sure and hammer it home with the amount of guests in the park and everything, they're just like, oh, well, we're going to end it for a few months. And then, of course, everybody flips out and they sell a bunch of new merchandise when it comes back. So,
yeah, it's true. I didn't think about the merch, but I see Paint the Night to me seems like the perfect like holiday overlay parade, like that you could. I don't know if it's feasible or possible, but it's already all lit up and it's at night. But if you just drop in a little bit of Jingle Bell beat into those songs and like you add a little bit of maybe some of the floats could have snow machines on them or something, and like maybe. I don't know if the lights can be programmed to be different colors, because we know some of those have alternating color lights. Like, I feel like this thing's primed to be like a Paint the Night holiday edition. That's just me, though. So
That would blow my mind, honestly. That would be probably like the best idea ever.
Yeah. So Disney, if you're listening, Please
Can
ignore
you,
everything else
please
I said
change
except for that. So also over at California Venture, we're going to have the Disney Viva Navidad Street Party. And as part of Disney Viva Navidad holiday celebration, a colorful street party comes to life with musicians, dancers, and giant... What kind of puppets are these? Mohiganga? Mohiga?
I'm not sure what word you're looking at.
It is
but...
Mojiganga. I didn't know there was an... Okay, anyway.
Okay,
the three
call Mary
Paper
Jo.
mache?
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
know. The one... We needed Mary Jo for this episode. She's our resident translator. So there's also going to be the three caballeros, Donald Duck, Panchito, and Jose are going to lead a jolly, joyous celebration out there. I love this stuff. I love when you guys do Dia de los Muertos out there. Like I just love that there's a very like a cultural influence out there that I feel like I get it. We have Epcot, but like I don't know. It feels a little more genuine when I see the stuff that's celebrating like Mexican heritage out there. I don't know.
I love this show, and it's cool too because they bring back a lot of the same dancers as every year. So you kind of see them like grow up in a way because they're really. I've seen like the same people, and then I'm gonna be rude, but I'm like, oh my gosh, your acne cleared up. That's awesome. And but other than that, like the music gets you like so pumped for the holidays, and then it makes you just want to sing along, and then it gets stuck in your head for like a good month or so. And you just keep saying it over and over and over again.
Well, I love the three caballeros too, so just seeing them out there is always a happy celebration for me.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's pretty much it we have for details on this. There's not much more in here. Unfortunately, there's no list of food or anything, which is the thing I'm most excited about, but I'm sure we'll get... I'm sure that we will get more as we get closer, because I'm hoping for like Disney Parks blog to put out like their list of how they did the Halloween treats. I'm ready to see what the holidays has to offer, and I have heard for years that the Disneyland candy cane is like a thing to get, thing to have.
Oh yeah.
So that's something that I'm like, this might be the year I make my pilgrimage for it.
It's even beyond that. Like we always talk about decorations, and you mentioned the seasonal decor, at least on Sleeping Beauty Castle, but it really does transcend throughout the entire parks at the holidays at Disneyland, which is very special. It goes through downtown Disney and as well too, and adds in that extra seasonal charm as well. So you feel it everywhere around you, and I love It's a Small World holiday. Like it's just it makes me super happy. I mean, it'll make you hate Jingle Bells if you don't already hate it, because that's your repeat loop song on that. But and then it's the perfect time of year to ride Haunted Mansion Holiday, because it's the only time it makes sense. It's the Christmas season.
I know how you say.
I love Disneyland at Christmas. Holidays at Disneyland, excellent.
I feel your joy, and it makes me so excited for Christmas.
I know. I mean, Halloween is definitely. There's nothing. It's for me. It's like Halloween. I love Halloween, and then it's like I like Christmas too. So this like part of the year is the best time of year. So well, thank you guys for helping me get through this, as I'm the only one here who hasn't experienced that. So I appreciate that. And let's move on to some of the stuff that you're excited about. Craig, why don't I start with you?
I am excited to announce that. We've been talking about downtown Disney and with the hotel construction for how long now, since the show was rebooted, and one of the establishments there that did close as part of all of this was the Earl of Sandwich, and it is returning for a limited time back at downtown Disney. So apparently they didn't start ripping apart everything inside the restaurant, and they're able to just go in and kind of tidy up and get going. But yeah, it is returning right back in the same location just for a limited time, and you'll be able to get your hot sandwiches and soups and salads, wraps, whatever you enjoy.
There.
What are you? Literally, the only reason to go to Earl of Sandwich is to get a holiday sandwich and the tomato soup.
Ew, gross. I don't like tomato soup. Yuck.
You're an idiot.
Tomato soup, yuck. The only place I've had tomato soup where I was like, okay, this isn't bad, is at Jolly Holiday with their grilled cheese and the thing. But that's a bisque, I think.
And this is better. It's a creamier version, kind of like that. It's a creamy tomato soup with the perfect croutons made out of the Earl of Sandwich bread that they bake into croutons. It is heavenly. I mean, the price has gone up way too much, but it's still a solid sandwich every time. It's something that I don't get when I'm out at Disneyland, because I can always get it right back here in Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
But I will say that was always, anytime I'd stay at Disneyland Hotel, that was my morning coffee spot when I needed a pick me up, because that was the closest place to actually get good coffee right away. So I'm happy that it's returning for a limited time.
It feels to me, I mean, I don't know. I guess like once you're in the Disney culture more and more, it feels like it's like kind of a staple, you know? Like so it seemed kind of like crazy that they wouldn't have an Earl of Sandwich out there, I guess.
Yeah, well, I agree with you, Rhino. Like, one of the things that I kept thinking is like, oh, when they build this new hotel, they've got to put Earl of Sandwich in there, right? Like, that's just where it's going to go. Like, I was in denial that it was going to be gone forever. So.
Well, it's weird too, because the only other place I've ever seen an Earl of Sandwich is in a rest stop in Maryland. So
they have them in rest stops all up and down 95. They have them at airports.
I try to always stop at the ones whenever they show the sign. I'm like, oh, we're pulling over. Like, but well, that's exciting. They didn't give a date for that. I completely forgot that Salt and Straw is also going to be opening pretty soon at Downtown Disney. And I am pretty excited for that, because I went to the one that was in Culver City in California, and it's a very unique ice cream experience. And I'm sad it won't be there in time to offer their holiday offerings, like there was bugs and grass and stuff like that. But and then
delicious.
You guys are also going to have Ballast Point coming soon, and the Black Tap craft burgers and shakes. I feel like I just would go just to have an eating tour of Disney, Downtown Disney at this point.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, but
I'm hoping Black Tap opens. So far, I haven't seen any progress on the outside, but I don't see anything. I've been like peeking and like seeing, and maybe they're just working on the inside a lot more. But
is that the one going where Build-A-Bear was, or is that Ballast Point?
Ballast Point is going where Ride Makers was.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, this is a good segue into yours, Tyler.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of construction going on, like Rhino just alluded to, in Downtown Disney, and now they have just reopened well, it's not even like reopened, they just opened the upstairs dining room at Naples Restaurante. So we talked about it a little bit a few weeks ago, but they used to have just an outdoor patio upstairs there, and now the whole thing has been enclosed, and they've opened it up to guests. So we're going to do a review on it soon, I think, here, probably in the next week. You'll see when you see this podcast, sorry. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think it looks like a beautiful room.
It's very open and bright.
It looks very open. The bar outside was completed a few months ago, and it looks so nice. And
yeah, the bar looks really nice.
Yeah, we sat there and got a drink one night, and it was pretty relaxing. And I don't know. It's nothing more much to say about Naples.
It looks more welcoming. I feel like the entrance is more like when you walk in, it's just they have like automatic doors when you walk in, so it's not like you have to like open it. So it just like opens when you walk in. So it just, I don't know, it looks nicer.
Yeah, it almost looks like you're walking into like a hotel lobby or something, like how much nicer they've made it. So
well, I think the addition of the bar outside does give it this whole vibe where it's kind of like this open, welcoming place and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
But yeah, I like Naples. Like, how do you say it?
Ristorante?
Restaurant. Well, I just call it Naples, but I always feel like I'm describing somewhere in Florida when I say that. But yeah, so I enjoy the pizza there. I do think it's a little pricey, but it's decent pizza. It's good, not decent. It's good pizza. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just want to mention real quick that the to-go spot is still under construction. So if you really want to get a to-go pizza, they still have their little stand outside, and you can go and look for the stand that says to-go pizza. There's a big arrow. And they'll help you out with that, but they don't have their little convenience store area open quite yet.
Well, cool. Well, thanks, Tyler. What about you, Katrina? What are you most excited for right now, or
It's not like what
not
I'm most excited for.
Yeah.
I'm just more of like I'm bitter right now. But so I'm talking about the Funko Pop, the Ezra in the Doom Buggy Funko Pop that was released last weekend, or like I guess a couple weekends ago, because this is coming out a week later. But I'm really sad because of the limit that they gave everybody, and so it sold out crazy early compared to all the other Funko Pops that have been released in the past couple months or so.
Yeah.
And
We got there at about 11 a.m.
and they were sold out. And Wonderground was the only place that kind of held out until around 11 o'clock. We were there. We missed it by 10 minutes.
Oh.
And I was really bummed. But I just I'm a little upset on their limit that they give people, because I know in Florida they have it for a 10 limit. And then in California, they try to reduce it to like a 5 limit, but still,
That's what I think.
There's a, huh?
I think 5 is still a lot. I do think I wish it was 5 here. I get 5. I think 4 even, but like it.
I wish it
the
was
thing that's
2.
crazy is if you
Yeah.
go to like Target to buy a Target exclusive, you can only buy like, I think the max is like 2.
I think it's because people abuse the power, because there's a lot of locals here that make money off of selling them on eBay. And if you look on Instagram, if you like follow Disney stuff, you'll see pictures of people and they have bags and bags of Funko Pops that they're going to be selling on eBay. And right now they're going from like $60 to over $100 to try to bid for them.
It's just crazy too. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like my thing is like, they know they're going to sell out. We knew it was going to be popular because it's Haunted Mansion. It's always very popular. They're going to do the other ghosts too, so people want to complete the set of the 3 Doom Buggies, or I'm assuming eventually 4 maybe, unless he's in something else. But I don't know. I think that it's just like you can see people leaving with bags and bags of them. Like even just to set the limit that low, it'll cut a little bit, because here what happened is there would be people who would be like, okay, here's mom, she bought 10. Here's the son, he bought 10. Here's the daughter, she bought 10. Here's the husband, he bought 10. And you're like, okay, that family doesn't need 40 of those. And it kind of, it ruins it for people who just want it, like for them. I get the idea of like, I mean, I don't know. I just hate that kind of. It happens with anything, It's that whole like you said, people trying to make a profit because they know people want it, and I'm like, There's no real way to cut it down, I guess. I don't know.
It's also a lack of Disney still not understanding what is actually popular with them. Like they clearly have made such a strive. Push forward with Haunted Mansion merchandise over the last 5 years or so, and it seems like it finally clicked that like, oh, people like the Haunted Mansion, we should make a lot of stuff with it. So you have Funko, which is one of the biggest collector's items out there right now that people adore because they're really cute and they're not super expensive. I mean, they're creeping up there now, but
a little bit. Some places,
in general, if you get like a standalone figure, they're not bad.
It's like $10, average $10 for the little standalone guy. I'd
With
say.
the Disney ones, the bigger ones, now that they're rides, those are $40 and then like $32 with an annual pass discount. But
I thought there were 20. Was it 25 for Splash Mountain, or was it 40? Was it that expensive?
Splash Mountain was 40. Yeah,
I knew the Doom Buggy one was definitely 40 because there's a Megazord or Ultrazord one from Target, but so there's the regular size, which are the standee guys. Then there's the bigger ones, and then this other one is supposed to be like the biggest ones they make, and the Haunted Mansion one's not in the biggest one they make. It's in the second round of ones, but it's Disney pop vinyl, so it's the extra surcharge.
But going around back to it, it's Haunted Mansion. This was going to sell out day one. It is popular. People love Mansion. This should have had a much bigger edition.
And it was Halloween too, so I feel like that could have been into play too, because it was Halloween time, Haunted Mansion.
And that's like, and that's where Disney, it's like, just I know that you don't care. Your ultimate goal is make them with Funko. It doesn't matter if you make a ton or a little bit. You just want them to sell out. That's all that really matters to you, and that's fine. But think about it. With the Haunted Mansion, make a lot. With Figment, yes, there is a cult of us who love Figment, but the amount that they made for the 30th anniversary Epcot Figment was just plain ludicrous. They didn't need that much. And so it seems like they still can't figure out what's popular and what's not. They don't know until they see the trends, and then they finally figure it out. So I just wish that with any of the future Funko releases that they start like before they put these into production, they have someone from Funko and they have someone from Disney come together and actually say, like, what should the edition size be? And then Disney later, you can figure out the limits and all that. But in my opinion, the Doom Buggy and the Splash Mountain one were completely just underproduced. And and a lot of them are, but it's also just as it becomes a bigger phenomena, it changes. I remember the Indiana Jones adventure ride vehicle one years back. I like that would come into stores,
Yeah.
and it would sell out, and then it would come back into stores like a week or two later, sell out, and it did this for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And so you always it wasn't you had to be there right on release day. You just had to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, you had
and you
to
might
catch
get
it.
lucky.
Yeah.
And I like that style more. I wish they
agree.
would go with that.
I think as a whole, Funko, like the whole company is like starting to do this just more and more, like not just with Disney, but if you follow their Twitter and stuff, like it seems like every other tweet from them is like, hey, come to New York Comic Con and you can get this special edition Funko Pop. Come to this PAX Prime or whatever, and you can get this Funko Pop. Like, they've been slowly coming out with more and more like special edition ones that don't last very long. I wonder how much of it has to do with Disney, making these small amounts, and how much of it is actually just Funko making a small amount, just because they like to have that exclusivity kind of cloud around them.
I don't mind when they do it as like it's a chase or a variant. Like, okay, you can come and get this. So like I have all the Power Ranger ones, and they released. So they first came out. They originally first came out only red, pink, and white, and they ended up being super rare. And people were like, why did you just pick just these 3 Rangers? Like, and so years went by and they finally made them all and they were super popular again. And then they made the Megazord one, which was a larger sized pop. They made it an exclusive to some convention. And I don't like that because it makes it like it's the completionist in you. You can't take one out and be like, you can only get this one part over here. Like, make it a rare version of it somehow. Make it metallic. Make it this. Make it that. And that's why I feel like, I don't know. They're like driving the rarity of it in the wrong way. It's like what Craig said. Like, they don't they're creating an incredibly negative experience. So now whenever I'm thinking about the Disney Parks Funko Pops, I have this like pit in my stomach that I don't like. Like, I like them, and yeah, I want them, and like, but I don't want it to be. I want it to be fun to try and get. Like Craig said, like I want it to be like the Indiana Jones ones. Like, I remember seeing those on the shelf, and the day where I was like, I'm gonna go buy it now, it was gone, and I was like, well, serves me right. And the same thing happened with the original 4 Haunted Mansion ghosts. Those were out for a while. Like, I saw them, I had like them in my hand, and I was like, nah. And then when I finally went to buy them, gone, and that's on me. It just feels like they just ruined this. I don't want to go to Magic Kingdom at 7 a.m. to get in line. I don't know. I don't know.
No, I 100% agree with you. I think from their standpoint of being a business that is, trying to sell these little tiny plastic things, like think of like Beanie Babies, think of like Pokemon cards and Pogs and stuff like that. Like, they have to create an artificial scarcity on some of these things, or they don't get the word out there that you want these things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Without the artificial scarcity, they're basically giving themselves advertising by creating less. So, I think they do that. They've done that with plenty of toys in the past, like Beanie Babies. I mean, I remember when like the year 2000 Beanie Babies came out, it was like everybody needed to have it, like, so it was just one of those things where they just know they create less and people get more excited.
Yeah, well, with that said, there is a rumor that I've heard that from the people who work in the, not Disney parks, but in the line of the people who produce these things, that Disney Parks is having another release next month. They're trying to make this a kind of a regular thing. So I heard Diamond edition of the Angry Bird here, the Orange Bird here, and then a Diamond edition of the Yeti for Disneyland. So we will see. But anyway, all right, well, thank you guys for having this discussion. Let's move on and talk about the Mickey's Halloween party at Disneyland Resort. So I have done this party before. Have you done it before, Craig?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I did it in 2016. I don't think a lot has really maybe changed too much from then. But Tyler and Katrina, you guys experienced this on like day one, right?
Yeah, the first day we saw it, and then just to mention, this party is completely sold out. Good luck trying to find this ticket. I know maybe you can get it at the hotel, possibly, right?
Yeah, if you're going to be staying at a hotel and you didn't get your tickets yet to the Halloween party, if you're very nice or if you're in concierge or something like that, sometimes they do put aside some tickets for people that are staying at the hotels. So maybe go and ask around. But other than that, you're not going to get them online anymore for sure. So, but yeah, we had a great time at the party. It was a really fun time. And it's mostly, as Rhino has said, not much has changed. There's a couple little things here and there. But other than that, for anybody who doesn't know, when you go to Mickey's Halloween party, you're basically in for a very Halloween-y kind of environment where they put, all these different colored lights everywhere, and they change up the decorations a little bit. They put out treat trails so you can go and get all this candy. They give you bags right when you get in. You get candy all day, all night. And then there's like special shows and stuff too. So like, for example, you can go and see the Cadaver Dans out on the rivers of America doing some Halloween-inspired songs that are all from like Nightmare Before Christmas and things like that. So it's a lot of fun. I really do enjoy.
Well, let's start at the top for people who have never experienced this Halloween party period. So this event was taking place, like we said, tickets are sold out. I'm just giving you the information. Is that it was September 19th through October 31st. The tickets ranged in price from $95 to $130, if depending if you bought them online. Day of is a joke because it's sold out. But one interesting thing about this party ticket is actually that if you are coming for that day, it will allow you to get into both parks. It'll allow you to
3
go
hours before.
Yes, 3 hours before the party, and you can, for the remainder of that night, go into both California Adventure and Disneyland Park. So if you are not feeling the Halloween parade after you've bought your ticket, or the Halloween party, you feel free to go over and do Monsters After Dark. Oh man, I was gonna make a Monsters After Dark joke when we were talking about Christmas stuff, and I forgot. I was gonna be like, oh, the Grinch is After Dark, the holiday offering of Guardians of the Galaxy. But anyway, so that's that. Like Tyler said, there's the party, is all Halloween themed. So people, come in costumes, kids, adults alike. They have the treat trails, like you said. There's a whole set of costume guidelines. If you're not familiar with it, you can visit the website or visit www.info.com, where we have some of those that information on there for you as well. I really enjoy. So there's parade, fireworks, trick or treating, and then special shows, like you said. So I want to walk through each one of those things first. Let's talk about the parade, because the parade begins similar to how ours begins, with a little visit from the Headless Horseman.
We do, but we also have Ichabod Crane that comes out as well, and they tell the story of like the Headless Horseman and Ichabod Crane as they kind of like, get everybody like pumped and ready for the parade.
Yeah.
And I love how Ichabod Crane walks, because he just he looks just like he's from the cartoon.
Yeah, really.
It's so crazy.
That's cool.
And then and like the Headless Horseman slowly follows. I feel like he comes. This one's a lot slower than Magic Kingdom, because I feel like the Headless Horseman and Magic Kingdom goes by too fast. I don't know. It's just me. I like blink and then he's gone, and I'm like, well, I just missed it.
Yeah, he's definitely tripping a little bit, but it's not that bad. Didn't they slow him down? Like, I feel like he used to go faster and they slowed him down.
Yeah, well, in the video I saw this year, he was kind of moseying around.
That's nice.
But I don't know. Craig, you were there. Do you remember?
Oh, it's super slow.
Okay.
10 years ago, he used to actually...
He'd race
It
down
used
the
to
street,
be,
right?
not like race, but it was quick. Now, I think a lot of people think like, oh, he's moving so fast, because they try to take a picture and they see the blur, and it's like, well... No, you just don't really understand how a camera works and the right
That
setting.
was not me.
Once you understand, like, okay, well, I need a super fast shutter speed. The longer it's open, the more blurry it's going to be. Once you figure that out, you can get those good photos of him. But yeah, he doesn't move super fast anymore.
No, so so that's cool. That's a nice start to the parade, and then the frightfully fun parade is the name of your Halloween parade, and that is it still all themed to Nightmare Before Christmas, or is it just kind of
No.
general?
No.
It's for everybody. It's like kind of like every villain comes out, and so you'll see some crazy like what's the guy Frollo? Is that Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame? You'll see him come out, Ratcliffe, and the evil, well, I don't know what it's just called, Lady Tremaine and the stepsisters will come out. But the song is better than Boo to You, I feel like. I like our song far better than Boo to You. But you disagree? Oh, okay.
No, I don't know. I can't remember the song, and I don't want to turn the video on right now while I'm watching it. But
I feel like it gets stuck in your head faster, I guess. I don't know. And then the one new addition is Vampirina to the parade.
Yeah.
And I was very disappointed by Vampirina.
Well, they just put her on the back of the last float. That's all they did.
Yeah, she doesn't belong. I feel like she needed another kind of float for herself because they just stuck her on the back of the parade where all the like old villains.
Well, Vampirina, for people that don't know, is a part of a Disney. What's the channel?
Disney Junior.
Disney Junior TV show, and it's like a Doc McStuffins, but she's a vampire.
Tyler has said this every episode we talk about it. It's Goth McStuffins.
Goth McStuffins. Oh my God!
I'm glad you said it because I was about to say it again, and I was
no,
like,
that's hilarious. I keep forgetting that, so it's a treat for me every time.
I haven't been to the Halloween party since 2014. When did they kick Miss Piggy out of the cavalcade?
I don't think she was in the party when I was there in 2016.
It's a different parade. So.
Yeah, I know, but Miss Piggy should be a part of Halloween. It always made the most sense.
Wait a minute, though. Was it life-size Miss Piggy or was it human-size Miss Piggy? So was it Piggy what size she should be, which is about 3 feet tall?
Yeah, it was Miss Piggy.
Well, because do you remember the one on Hollywood Studios and the Muppets were the size of you and I? Yeah, and I was like, this is disturbing.
They fixed that back in the early 90s when they closed it.
Okay. No, that parade was going on when I worked there in 2007. Like, that was a scary parade.
They were in a parade? I thought they had their own show. Anyway.
No, it was the motorcade caval thing, whatever. Anyway, I like the Nightmare. Like, I like the mayor coming out in his car from Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, what I love is these, like, I mean, we do have floats that are our floats, but it's like you've got the vampires coming out. You've got Jack and Sally on their, like, little staircase and coming out. Like, it's really... Yeah. Yours feels more like full Halloween themed through and through, because then you've got
it's like half the size of yours.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true, but I feel like, but at least it's all like you've got the grave diggers, you got the zombie dancers, you've got the hitchhiking ghosts, these creepy tall things. I don't know what they are.
They're like shadow monsters from Dr. Facilio.
Oh, right. Okay. Plus the Ursula is so cool. Like, I like your Ursula part of...
She was new last year. Last year was Ursula's first year.
Okay, because I was like, I do not remember seeing that in person because it's like a person, but they're on like a little... I don't know. Are they walking or are they on like a...
She's motorized, yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool.
I do like Maleficent's dragon up on top. Like, you don't really notice it because you're staring at a lot of the characters, and then like just make your eyes go up a little bit, and then Maleficent's dragon's like hanging up around like cool. the big ending float.
Yeah, and I agree with you about the Vampirina thing though, because she is just kind of shoved on the back of the last float that goes through, so you don't even see it till it turns around and you're like, hey, wait a minute, who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
Like somehow this little girl like stowed away on the back of this float.
Yeah.
And all she's doing, what she's doing too is she is going along to the music and trying to walk you through her own dance. So she's doing like the mummy, like spider dance. She's like saying all these different things. She's trying to lead you through like basically a dance party, like a spooky dance party. But it just comes off as really weird because it's so hard to hear her that it's like it was very random and nobody in the audience is dancing or anything, obviously. So
I think
it's just a very weird.
Yeah.
injection into the parade. But
Yeah, they were like, we got this one Halloween property. I guess we're not really using it, but
yeah,
well, then you also have your the Halloween Scream fireworks, which are different than our Hallowishes. Yes, you guys have that balloon, like so. It still happens on Sleeping Beauty's castle. You have the balloon that rises up, and it's kind of like when I was there. I'm assuming it's the same. It had the Oogie Boogie projection that like was on it, and he like
It's
Well,
Jack
yeah,
Skellington.
Jack
was it Jack?
Skellington hosts the fireworks. Oogie Boogie is on there at a certain point during like his kind of section. But yeah, it has that big balloon that rises up, and Jack Skellington kind of goes through the whole night. He kind of hosts in between every song. He'll come on and say a couple things. And one of the coolest things is Zero flying over the castle.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so there's a couple times when Zero flies over, and it looks so good. It really does.
Well, and you utilize some projections during the show as well.
We do,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, definitely on the castle. There are definitely parts where they'll have Oogie Boogie,
Oh my
his
gosh.
casino all over the castle, or like, they'll put a bunch of scary eyes all over the castle, like, a lot of different things like that. It's very fun. It's one of the shows that they first updated, I want to say. So like when they first started doing the projection things, that was one of the first shows to actually get like a little upgrade as opposed to just having lights and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not like anything. The projections aren't spectacular, but they really add a lot to the
I
show.
love Oogie Boogie's scene. Like the whole fireworks are so upbeat, and you just get so pumped for Halloween. And like how I'm just amazed on how upbeat the songs are, and the fireworks hit every single note, and it just like blows my mind. And then when Oogie Boogie comes out, and like all of the castle is pretty much like a roulette wheel, and like all these flashing lights and stuff from like a casino that you would see. And it just like blows my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this. I like need to go. Then I like want to leave and go watch like Nightmare Before Christmas or something.
Yeah, it does make me want to watch that movie. That's for sure.
Well, and you guys mentioned too, one of the other things that I thought was really, really cool was the cadaver dans that are on the rivers of America, because they come along on like a Mark Twain kind of style boat. Not Mark Twain, because that would imply the big boat. I meant like Tom Sawyer's
little
Island
ferry
raft.
boat.
Yeah.
They do. They come out. They come out on the raft that will take guests to Tom Sawyer Island during the day, and they put like candelabras on it and everything like that. And they give the cadaver dans like over in Orlando. Your cadaver dans have this very like prospector kind of Western feel to them, and they have that over in California as well. But they're much more like kind of like bankers and stuff. They're not necessarily they seem like they would have more money, if that makes sense. Like they're not necessarily like diggers and stuff like that like they are in Disney World. So I still think it's really cool. They come out, they sing a few songs, and they fog up through the entire party. They're putting fog all over the rivers of America because they have this whole thing built in for Phantasmic, right? So they just turn it all on, and when there's fog all night long, that entire section gets this very spooky vibe about it.
Yeah.
And you can barely see the cadaver dans out there sometimes. And it's just like this perfect vibe. It really is.
Yeah, I love that because I love like you said, the fog adds to that atmosphere, and then you've got the Spanish moss coming down in New Orleans Square, and then Haunted Mansion Holiday being decorated the way it is on the exterior, regardless, is still a haunted house looking thing with all the pumpkins glowing, and you've got
The candles.
the Jack from the opening of Nightmare where he's the scarecrow, and I like that you can kind of see Zero moving around on the top of the building too, and it just that whole area is very, very cool. So
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Just the one difference that they didn't do from last year or the years prior is they took away the talking scarecrows over at Frontierland. I noticed that they took away because there's like real live actors that are like scarecrows and they talk to you and stuff, and they took away those.
Oh, and they were at least the one that I got to interact with. He was kind of sassy at me. Like he didn't
they
hold
get
back.
sassy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. That's a shame. But they also have, so they have the daytime setup stuff is still out there as well. So you can see the Dia de los Muertos area out there. You can, experience Haunted Mansion Holiday. You can do Ghost Galaxy. Overall, I feel like the theming of Halloween, for the party at least, really spreads itself throughout the entire park of Disneyland Park. Compared to like Magic Kingdom, I feel like it kind of sticks to like Main Street and a little bit out. but
Yeah.
it really feels like, okay, I'm in a really themed party right now. So I
Yeah,
think
and
it's really
and
cool.
one of the only sections too that only it only happens during the party, but I love it so much is the new area over by where they're building Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the whole entire Frontierland pathway that goes to Fantasyland, because they light that whole thing up. There's different sound effects, and you can only experience it 15 nights a year at that party, and it to me like it makes that whole area so cool.
It's like a monster, like breathing,
Yeah,
and
you can
you
Oh,
hear
hear
that's
like
neat.
pounding, and
Yeah.
like it's so spooky. They did take away the eyeballs that are like kind of.
Yeah, so there used to be like eyeballs like hanging out in the cave that you could see.
Oh,
Last year
that's
was the first year
cool.
they did it, and this year they've gotten rid of the eyes. So
Too
I don't know
scary.
why they did
But
that,
it's just
but
still spooky because they're
yeah,
like it's so loud. So like there's a monster in there, and you just know it, and
yeah.
you're just like waiting for it to come out and kill
And
you.
you hear a goat for some reason. I don't know why, but you do.
Well,
Sacrifice.
was there any exclusive to the party treats or anything that you tried, or was it you like? How was your experience at the party? Did you enjoy it? Like, was
Oh
it
yeah,
too
I mean we
crowded?
enjoyed it. So I mean, well, first of all, I'll walk you through it real quick. We got in probably around 7:30 or something. The party,
No,
yeah, I think
no, it
so.
wasn't 7:30. It was like 6:30.
Okay. Well,
Boys.
we got in 30 minutes after the party started is what's really the important part. And so we ended up doing our first couple treat trails. We got a bunch of candy. The nice thing is in Disneyland they're very giving with their candy. They'll just give you like handfuls every time you go through. So um, we did that. Then we decided we were going to go do Ghost Galaxy. So we did Ghost Galaxy, and we were waiting for the parade and the fireworks. So I will say, because we wanted to get a good spot for the parade and the fireworks, it ended up taking us altogether around 2 hours, and that was like almost half of our party time.
Yeah.
So
And the fireworks were late because they
yeah.
still needed to get like that approval and stuff. So it was a delay for a good like another 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Yeah, so we did that stuff. But so I think that's important to keep in mind though. Like if the fireworks you need to be in the front, it's going to take away a lot of your party time. So keep that in mind. But I don't know if you actually need to do that. I think we could have gotten a little bit of a worse spot and been fine.
Oh, yeah.
And we wouldn't have had to wait so long. But I just wanted to make sure I got some really good shots. So
And then the parade is twice. So if you don't need to go to the first parade, go to the second one because there's going to be less people. 'Cause the parade, this Halloween party is on a weekday usually, and then I think no, not on a Friday. I don't know. But if you go during like a weekday, you know people are going to leave to go back to school and stuff. So the second parade is less populated, and that's when like for us, that's when we go ride rides, get candy, and all that because everybody leaves after the fireworks usually.
Yeah.
So that's like the best time to like enjoy and get your stuff done.
What time did the
forgot to-
park close?
it closed at midnight.
Okay.
Or actually,
Oh, no,
it was
11.
it was 11 the night we went, but
So if
sometimes it closes at midnight.
the party starts at 7, it closes at 12, and then if the party starts at 6, it closes at 11.
Okay, so the party is 5 hours long, and you can go in 3 hours before, so it's 8 hours. So I'm going to ask everybody in this room, and you can go to the other park as well. Craig, you first. What do you think? Do you think this party is worth it as your experience of when you went? Does it still sound like it might be worth it to you?
No, in my opinion, because we were planning on going to Disneyland for Halloween this year, and we just kind of ran out of time to plan it and all of that. But even back when we were making the original plans to go, the Halloween party was X'd off the list almost immediately because it is way overpriced for the experience that you actually get. And considering you can still get some of the Halloween spirit throughout the day, just going as a regular day guest to Disneyland or Disney California Adventure, unless you really are a diehard about trick-or-treating, the fireworks, or the parade, it's just not, in my opinion, it's not enough to push it over the edge and make the leap into it. There's other Halloweenish things to do at a hard ticket cost in California that you can also try out, like Knott's or anything, not Halloween Horror Nights. looked awful this year.
Yeah, well, we do recommend Not Scary Farm very much, and that I want to say we spent $125 on our ticket last year, and that included front of the line passes, and it was hands down phenomenal event for us to go to. But you have to be into that sort of like scary haunted house thing.
And that's the only thing I wanted to say. That comes with me at this point in time in my life. I don't have kids yet. I can understand if you have kids why you would want to take them. However, thinking of like if we're going with the stereotypical family of 4, let alone even 5 or 6, I cannot fathom spending $500, $600, $700 on a party like this. It
adds up quick.
It makes me want to throw up thinking about it. So,
well, what do you guys think? What do you think?
For me, I try to think like both sides. Like, so there's a lot of diehard like annual pass holders that come and try to show off their costumes they've been working on for their whole family. They collect candy, and it's like they use that candy for themselves and like give it away for Halloween and stuff when Halloween comes around. For me, I don't know. It wasn't worth it this year because there was no exclusive merchandise except for like the Halloween shirts and stuff, but there was no exclusive popcorn bucket, and the treats, they never promoted any of the special treats.
Talk real quick. You just reminded me. We forgot to mention that if you were an annual pass holder, they had a special area that only annual pass holders could go to, and they gave you this because you said they didn't have exclusive treats, but an annual pass holder.
This is in the Starcade over in the Starcade area, and so you need to have your annual pass, and then there's an exclusive annual pass T-shirt. Or it wasn't a T-shirt; it was like a long sleeve T-shirt, and and then an exclusive pin. So they had a lot of pins for Halloween, and then you can get your other merchandise over there for annual pass holders, and then there's a secret treat trail in there. Mm-hmm. But I mean, for me, it wasn't worth the amount paid for this year because it was just, I mean, there's exclusive meet and greets this year. I didn't know that they would have, what's her face? The tightrope girl. Oh, and they had the wife, what's her name? Oh my God, I forgot her name from Haunted Mansion. The murderer.
Oh, the bride.
Ghost.
The bride.
The bride. Oh my God. So they had her, but there was no exclusive stuff to like make you want to go. And I don't know. This year they didn't promote their special treats like they did last year because they're like, oh, only exclusive for this night. You can get this and this and this. I think they just had the regular treats as they would during the day. So this year I wasn't sure. Last year was worth it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the more I do this party, the less exciting it is. And like, for me, I have to go and, I have to see the fireworks. I have to see the parade because of my job, honestly. And the way I would like to actually run the party is just to do all the rides I possibly can. Just get there and keep going on rides all night long because every ride was a walk-on, or at least all the rides that we walked past. Except for, like Haunted Mansion Holiday and stuff. So
it's a good 20 minutes.
I think Max Pass working that night or no?
No.
Okay, so they disabled that for the party. Okay.
Yeah, they don't do any Fast Pass type of stuff during parties and special events and stuff. But it's one of those things where I feel like even if you don't want to do the Halloween stuff, you can get it in. You can get it in just by walking through the park and you get some Halloween India that way. Yeah. But if you just want to go on rides and this is kind of your one day to do it, I think it's actually not a bad idea because like we were saying, you can get in 3 hours ahead of time. So, and it's basically a park hopper too. So you get in 3 hours ahead of time, it's a park hopper, and you get about 8 hours of this stuff to do. I don't think that's a bad deal, actually, considering that it's going to be what did we say? It's going to be a little bit more money to get a park hopper.
I mean, the tickets on average, if you go at the beginning of the season, is about, $115. And then towards Halloween, it's $130 for those tickets. And then how much is a regular one-day pass park hopper? 120 something?
I think it's more than that.
But that's the thing is I actually think you can get a lot more done during this party if you spend your time wisely than you can with a full price day ticket.
I agree with you on that because while everybody's watching the parade and fireworks, you can go off and do rides. And then a lot of people do candy at the beginning of the night and you can do candy at the end. If you walk towards a ride and there's a free treat trail, there's no line, just walk over, get your candy. It's not a big deal. I feel like they did more fruit this year, more apple slices and more carrots.
Yeah, they're starting to get away from candy a little bit, I feel like.
Yeah. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a really fun party. I think it's expensive, and I could see it not being for everyone. I mean, it's not something that every single person is going to want to do. And Craig brought up not Scary Farm and Universal Studios Hollywood, the Horror Nights. I've done both this year, and I would definitely recommend Scary Farm. Scary Farm is like, if you don't have any kids with you, Scary Farm is the best thing to do in that whole area for Halloween, if you ask me. It was great this year again, just like it was last year, and it's cheaper than Disneyland, and you'll have all sorts of fun there. I guarantee it. It's 10 minutes away north, so if you go up north 10 minutes, you'll be over there, Scary Farm. I just think that this is something for kids mostly. So.
And for a Katrina, because I don't like the scary stuff.
That's true. Yeah.
A park hopper ticket for 10 and up on a regular day, not a value or a peak day, is $167.
Oh my!
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, then
that's
it's totally
more.
worth it. I feel like if you get this ticket and then you have it for 8 hours.
Yeah, and you don't need to pay attention to. If you don't care about the Halloween stuff, then don't pay attention to it. This is still a cheaper way to get in and just ride all the rides you want to ride.
All right. Well, for me, I don't know. It's a toss up for me. I am on the side of like I think if you're really into Halloween, and my perspective as an adult without children is that I think that Knott's Scary Farm offered much more of a benefit, but I like the haunted house stuff. Like, I like Halloween Horror Nights. I do like the Disney Halloween parties. I'm glad I've experienced it at least once in my life. So I think if you're like, this is your one trip out there and you want to do everything and you want to see what it's like, I don't think that you're going to be like, man, I shouldn't have spent this money. But it is like what Craig said, that money adds up really quick. So I don't know if you're like a big family, like what it's going to do. Because for us here, the whole thing was it was supposed to have less wait times. But if you're telling me a lot of the attractions there had walk-on rides, walk-on waits, that's also a plus. So I'm kind of on the fence about it. It's not something like maybe I'm going to go out of my way to do, but if I can do it again, I'm not going to be like, no, but it would only kind of be if I've done the other things that I wanted to do more, I guess. So, well, thank you guys for having this discussion with me. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Katrina, Tyler, everyone. Thank you, folks, for watching and listening. That is going to do it for this episode, but we'll be back with another episode of the Disneyland edition of the DIS Unplugged. Until next time,